and not as spending as much money on goods. So we have a greater focus on value, or Germans rather have a greater focus on value and less on craftsmanship. Also, we're going to be keeping our prices low by localizing our services and not exporting, like Yoni mentioned. And finally, our pricing strategies will be similar to those that we have in the U.S. because our market segment is basically the same.
In terms of advertising, we understand that that's probably going to be one of the most important parts of the marketing mix. And we're going to use a lot of direct marketing and internet use marketing because that's the biggest base of marketing use by other companies in Germany. Our special promotion is that Target hopes to sponsor a Bayern München soccer match. And we feel like this will be the best opportunity for the company to reach out to millions of Germans as they're the most popular football team in all of Germany. Also, Target will adapt their advertising campaign by switching languages. However, they will not lose the focus of cheap cost and high quality. Target will do so by hiring the BBDO Group, which is a very famous advertising consulting firm that has clients such as Pepsi and Gillette.
In terms of place or distribution, we will have a distribution density that will be small. We're only going to open 4 stores initially, and so this will really allow us to have smaller channel links which go hand in hand, and at the same time our channel alignment will allow us to have more control and oversight, which is important for a company entering a new market. You really need to have as much control as possible in order to control costs and really manage your margins.
All right, in conclusion, the few steps that we feel that we need to take moving forward are we need secondary research. We found several reports, one being a report from Euromonitor International, which basically goes over how German consumer practices have changed within the past 5 years. We feel that getting reports such as this, or purchasing reports such as this, will really help us in our expansion into Germany. And finally, primary research we feel will help just to combine with the secondary research. And we feel like if we coordinate our services with BBDO Group, we can send out surveys, and because Germans are very respondent to surveys, and we can get just a better idea of how they will be buying in the near future. And that is the conclusion of our presentation. Thank you very much.
We have time for a few brief questions, very brief ones, from the venture capitalists.
Okay. So I'm going to ask kind of about your market entry strategy a little bit. I just want a little bit of clarification. The physical stores that you said you're going to open 4 stores, are these wholly owned? Because in your marketing plan you discuss like how you're going to license some German products that could be sold in Target stores. But are the physical stores like a wholly owned venture? Because in your marketing plan you talk about how you eliminate a lot of the market entry strategies because you want less risk, and I just don't understand like who's going to own these stores and like how that's going to go.
We didn't get into much detail into that regard, but I think we would be leasing those stores simply because we don't know. It's a new market, and we want to make sure that we're not in a contract and we just buy the property and then end up having to sell it if it doesn't work out.
We're trying to enter with the least unrecoverable expenses that we can, basically. So
Essentially, we don't want to make the mistake that Walmart did, because Walmart went in at a much larger scale,
yeah,
they bought
up
a lot of
distribution
locations,
centers. They bought up locations all over the place.
and they ended up selling them at basically fire sale and losing billions of dollars because they went in too fast.
Yes.
Thanks.
So you guys plan on using local companies, German companies and whatnot, and you're going to be selling these German products only in this German market at this time because that's all you only plan on having the 4 stores. How do you plan on having the quantity necessary to maintain Target's department store discount prices? Because I feel like part of Target's advantage in the United States is that they're able to purchase up as much as they possibly can for all their stores, and you're limited. You have a very limited, supply.
Well, that is true. I mean, it's not. You said just strictly German products. It's not strictly German products. It's European on the whole. But I understand what you're saying. That is one thing we have to consider, because, like we said, we don't want a whole bunch of unrecoverable costs, like a distribution center, which would help us in reducing our costs. It's really something that we have to look into further as we enter the market, because it's just, I mean, if our stores initially have success there with maybe not the absolute cheapest prices that we can give our customers, if they still have success and we're able to make a sale and keep customers happy, then we can consider, maybe leasing a distribution warehouse or something like that. Since most of our stores are going to be located in Western Europe, that's not an awful way to move in, but initially we would just like to have our stores positioned there and not anything further.
The other thing is, if you look at Metro, Metro's broken down into 5 separate divisions, and one of their divisions is a wholesaler, essentially like Costco. So they have large-scale, cheap unit costs, which is exactly what we're going to try and mimic.
And what's important is we put a strong emphasis on the local culture, and we're incorporating a local management team and a German consulting firm. So we talked about the Roland Berger Strategy Consultants. These companies have knowledge of the entire German market, and we'll have lists of suppliers and companies that could sell us products. So in terms of not having enough, I don't think that'll be the problem. It's deciding which companies to choose and developing those relationships.
Okay, that's going to be it. We have to go to the next group. Thank you very much.